Hello there. I've got plans to do a video about my Leica cameras, but this isn't that. I'm feeling frustrated with my camera stuff, so I thought I should use that frustration to at least good effect. I don't know if this is good effect, but I figured that I should use the thoughts in my head and kind of put them out there rather than sort of keeping them cycling around inside my head, because that can be bad. Most recently, I went to Chinese New Year in Liverpool, and in my head it was very simple. It was a case of, I'm going to go out with no pressure, no responsibility, and just take the pictures that I want to take. I took a Leica Q, a Leica M240, and I can never remember how you pronounce this, but I'm going to say a Yongnuo flash. Cheap 40 quid flash, cheap 20 quid triggers. And the idea that I had in my head was to try and create a very different photo of Chinese New Year that I've seen. The idea in my head was, kind of using the sun to backlight the scene, using my flash to then light the subject, and hoping that the dynamic range of the cameras would fill in the gaps. Yeah, it didn't really go according to plan. What happened was, well, for one, I hadn't noticed, on the top of a flash, I don't have one to hand, but on the top of a flash, you sometimes get that little plasticky bit that flips down. That's a wide angle diffuser, and I hadn't noticed that that was left on, which meant that it diffused the light rather than kind of giving me stronger light. So I spent probably about 40 minutes going around going, this isn't working, my flash is terrible, I don't have the power, I can't find the settings, why isn't this working? I've done this many times before, why isn't this working? That was annoying. I really wanted to shoot at 1.7, so I had an ND filter on the lens so I could do that, and then I wanted the flash as well. And I mean, the Leica Q is amazing because you can push it to sync at 1/2000th, which is really good for kind of outdoor, flash lighting and everything in bright sun. And I really wanted to use all those things. The problem was simply that I was constantly missing the focus because these guys were dancing around a lot. The flash being shot at full power wasn't recycling quick enough, and I was just getting frustrated with not achieving the image in my head. So I packed the flash up, and then I get the flash back out, and I'd be like, no, I'm gonna use the damn flash because I brought it with me, I wanna do this. Ultimately, it was just tricky, and I eventually kind of got so frustrated that I sort of settled back into my normal work routine. And I was producing the kind of photo that I would produce every year, and I've been going to Chinese New Year since maybe 2006, so that's like 10, 12 years of taking the same photo, albeit maybe sharper and whatever. The point of going out on Sunday was just to practice not being me, to practice kind of finding a new way of taking a photo, perhaps. Didn't really go to plan. I think I just fell into my old habits. This is going to be a really long video if I keep just talking to the camera, so I'm going to now cut to some, am I doing this right? I'm just dancing now. Yeah, I'm gonna just cut some images and maybe talk about them for a few minutes. Okay, I'm gonna start with the Leica M240 pictures. This is close. I don't like the people on the right. They kind of don't add anything to the photo. I think it'd be nicer if it was just the main guy on his own. The giant for sale sign really kind of ruins the shot completely. It doesn't, it's really fighting for attention with the guy in the middle. But I like the colors, I like the guy, I like the door. The door's lovely. That whole door frame and everything, it's really nice. There's enough in it that I'm content with the photo, shall we say. Maybe have a square crop there, it would work much better. Okay, I think it works better square, and I kind of like it. Again, what I liked about this is that I'm shooting at shallow depth of field, f2, blah, blah, blah. I got it in focus. Yay, I get a cookie. I did actually get a cookie that night. So yeah, not a fortune cookie. I had one of those the other week. Anyway, yeah, I liked those in focus. I'm easy to please when it comes to really expensive, hard to use cameras. Anyway, this image, yeah, I like the color, I like the light, I like the expressions on the people in a way. Yeah, I think it's just the color and the light, you know, it's really strong colors because the lanterns are quite transparent, so it really capture the light nicely. So that was it really for this photo. It's in focus and I like the color, which is pretty much the same that you can say for this photo as well. It's in focus, I like the color, I liked the expression on the girl outside the, whatever stand is this? It's a hot chocolate stand? Donut stand? Oh yeah, it says donuts, donut stand. Oh damn, donuts. Yeah, so I quite liked that it's in focus and it's kind of interesting. There's something happening. The key to any good photo is that there should be something happening, not just somebody walking around, you know, there should be something that makes you really look at the photo. On this one, I think I've missed the focus. I think the focus is on the young girl behind the woman taking the photo. But yeah, again, there's something I kind of liked. I liked maybe the light, the flare in the background, the atmosphere, the busyness, the color. I just missed the focus, but I don't think it's too bad. And then onto the last good photo from the M240. I mean, what's that for? Again, it's in focus. I like the color. I mean, how can you not like taking photographs at Chinese New Year, because you get such strong color when you get really good light. You know, there's a lot of strong red in the background. It's really interesting. Yeah, I like that this is in focus. It's a funny photo. That's basically it. It was a very quick photo, so I was happy that I was getting quicker and more confident using this camera. So that's basically it for the M240. 4 good photos. That really seems like I've spent a lot of money on something that I'm not getting a massive return from. And I think that's my main concern. Anyway, let's move on to some Leica Q shots, which is the, if you want, fully automatic Leica. It's a great camera, really, really good camera. It's a well done version of the Fuji X100. It takes everything that's great about the Fuji X100 and finishes the thought, essentially. So I like this photo because I like the symmetry, I like the lines of the people, the lines on the floor, and I liked the shadow cast from the dragon as well. I thought that was kind of fun. And I liked that it was just one really strong colour in the middle of the frame from the dragon being backlit or something. It just stood out to me. It was quite nice. You know, it's not a complicated photo. I just kind of like the parallels, the lines and whatnot. And then this photo, I think my flash worked on this photo, and it's kind of close to what I sort of had in my mind. I wanted to have a darker background and just pick out certain elements with my flash, you know, to get that really bold, strong color. This kind of worked, but this is what I was trying to get. I really wanted to just pick things out, you know, pick out interesting things or what I thought was interesting, you know, rather than kind of having a very cluttered background, even with shallow depth of field and everything, still having kind of a cluttered background. I mean, I say cluttered backgrounds, but then you move on to this photo and there's a lot of clutter in the background. But yeah, I just like the the light, I guess. It's, you know, the harsh flash really does bring out colours in quite an interesting way. Maybe that's why Martin Parr liked using it. Anyway, yeah, I just kind of like the strong colours. It's quite nice when you use flashes in this context, because you're using depth of field to perhaps isolate somebody, and then using the flash to really just emphasize that subject. I think the older I get, the more I kind of like this style of thing. Maybe it's just a confidence thing, because, you know, walking around the streets using a flash, it's complicated. You know, you really need the confidence to kind of do that. At events like this, it's kind of easy to sort of blend into the background more and just pretend you're a tourist. I mean, I certainly don't try and hide myself away or anything. You know, I don't wear dark clothes to pretend that I'm invisible or anything like that. I wear a black and red leather jacket and a bright yellow hat, and I'm 6'5". I don't blend easily. So you know what, screw it, just go for it. Need the confidence more than the ninja clothes. The next two images are pretty much in that same style. The flash I had got to work to some degree, and I was using it to my advantage, I guess. I wanted to sort of, you know, pick out, or not pick out, I wanted to really emphasize someone in the crowd, and I do quite like doing that, sort of darkening the background a bit and just, you know, really bringing out the colors and everything. And I mean, this girl had a really cool yellow dress with pink shoes, and all the confetti on the floor just looked cool. And then this girl was wearing a red coat in amongst a lot of dark grey coats and black coats and everything. I thought that was an interesting look, so it's quite nice to be able to again use the flash to really emphasize her. I know, I like that she was kind of holding her arm up, that she must have been filming all day. Yeah, I'll just quickly talk about this photo. It's a nice event type photo, you know, it's fine. Nice light and everything like that. And I like the rain and all those elements and everything, but it's very much an event type photo. It was just too easy for me to slip back into that kind of mode. And then we've got the evening projections that were tricky to photograph because of the umbrellas and the width of my lens as well. I only have a 28mm lens on the Leica Q, which is generally fine, but this was 3 buildings, quite a wide scene, and if I went further back, then you got the stewards in their high-vis jackets, and I didn't really want them in. So yeah, really nice projections. I quite liked them. Looking forward to seeing what they do next year. But yeah, photographing fireworks in the rain without a tripod amongst loads of umbrellas. The Leica Q's got optical image stabilization. I kind of said that like an Australian. Stabilization, mate? I don't know. It's a really good camera for this kind of thing, for doing night photography without tripod. I just didn't want to carry a tripod all day, and I knew that the Leica could help me out in that aspect. You know, you don't have to push it all the way up to sort of 6400 ISO or anything like that. It's just a really good camera. You know, you can handhold it at ridiculously slow speeds, and then tweak it a bit later in Photoshop, a bit of noise reduction, and you get a really good photo. So yeah, I mean, these images are just basically nice. You know, they're not saying a lot. They're just nice images. I liked the colours and the fireworks and the prettiness and stuff. It was just a nice end to the day, but a tricky day. I do plan to do something about the Leica Q, to go back and, not go back, I plan to do a video discussing it a bit more. I would like to do some more things in that way. Video diaries discussing my problems with the camera. Hopefully it's of use to somebody. So I hope you enjoyed these photos. I'm going to leave you with my favourite as soon as I decide which one that is. I don't know. That's tricky. I don't know which my favourite is. I guess the most visually striking one is the one you're currently looking at, so let's just leave it there. Until the next video, I'll see you later.